Well, hello there. Welcome back to another exciting edition of So into Bourbon. I'm Glenn. This is Charlie. Charlie, why don't you tell them what we're doing tonight?
Tonight we have three wonderful offerings graciously provided by our viewers from Whiskey Acres in Dekalb, Illinois.
Okay, so as mentioned in the opening, we had one of our very loyal viewers send us some samples, Dave Vogelzang. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. Really do. So what do we have? I've never heard of Whiskey Acres.
I haven't either. They are in Dekalb, Illinois, just west of Chicago, and they are like a lot of craft distilleries or agritourism places. They are family owned and operated, farm to glass distillery, and apparently they make some pretty cool stuff. So we've got three samples in front of us. We're just going to get right into it. So we didn't know anything about it. We've got three of their offerings. We're going to see kind of where they fall for us. So the first one we have is their Bloody Butcher. This is their Artisan Series Bloody Butcher Bourbon. It is a mash bill of 75% Bloody Butcher corn, 15% soft red winter wheat, and 10% malted barley. So pretty unique mash bill.
And this is grain to glass?
Grain to glass.
All right.
So 95.6 proof.
Do we know anything about the age?
We don't.
Okay, good.
We don't.
Cool.
I would assume it's over 4 years old. It doesn't say that it's under that, so.
It's got a nice copper color.
It really does. Kind of a little reddish hue to it. Mm-hmm. It puts a really nice ring around the glass. It's got some really nice viscosity, great legs on it, and it's beautiful looking.
Sure does. Let's nose this bad boy.
Man, it's
got a pretty pleasant
nose.
And
very. So we've had a couple of Bloody Butcher. Mm-hmm. I know we've had the Starlight. I believe we've had what's the other one? Jep the Creed.
We didn't do this on this show.
We didn't, but we've had it.
Yes. I was not a fan of the Jep the Creed. Starlight was
Bloody Butcher definitely has a flavor to it. Mm-hmm. This is giving me, I definitely get that Bloody Butcher. I get a lot of the wheat too. A lot of the wheat on that nose.
There's a lot of corn on it, but it's a very pleasant corn, and it's got kind of an earthy nose to it.
It does for sure. Very little ethanol, but it's a strong corn nose. So let's see what this one's like.
Cheers. That's pretty good.
It's grainy.
It is grainy.
Is that weird? It almost almost like drinking grain. Like the palate is so grain forward that it almost like you're anticipating it being like drinking grain. Mm-hmm.
It's grainy, but it's got a nice caramel note right up front. It's got a little heat to it, which is good. I like it. What was it? 103, 107? 97.
95.6.
95.6. I really paid attention.
Could have kept going. Yeah, it's definitely grain forward, which is interesting because the nose is so heavy corn, but I don't get a ton of the corn sweetness on it. I get, like you said, a little bit of caramel sweetness, and then it transitions to like that really dark, earthy, like almost like a dark chocolate, and there's some nice oakiness.
Nice oak on it, some dark chocolate, and I get the corn, but it's the good corn flavor, not the really young corn flavor. So
it's interesting.
It's more of a caramel.
Just do that the whole episode. Jeez.
But it's not. I will say, probably the best Bloody Butcher offering.
Probably. Yeah, probably. The thing that sticks out to me is the oak starts kind of mid-palate. Like that oak really jumps up and gets you.
And it kind of hangs there.
It just sits right on the middle of your tongue, which is kind of really nice. And it leaves you kind of be like, I'd like to have another little sip. It's definitely a pour to explore. Like every day, you keep sipping it and keep tasting it. It's unique for sure.
It has some depth of flavor, would you say? All right.
I would say.
Let's get to the next one.
So the next one we have is, and if you want to pour, I'll look up. This one's interesting. This is blue popcorn. So it is literally blue corn. I assume it was grown for popcorn because people do that. Yes, it's made from blue popcorn, says their website. This 4-year, 97 proof offering showcases aromas that take you on a movie theater. Whatever that means. Mash bill, 75% blue popcorn, 15% soft red winter wheat, and 10% malted barley. So you're just swapping Bloody Butcher for blue popcorn. I'm going to palate cleanse and...
Good idea, Charlie. I feel like red winter wheat is a... Say that fast.
Red winter wheat.
Red winter wheat. It's a theme for the night.
It is. Also, while we're doing that, make sure to check out the So Into Bourbon merch store and buy our wonderful wares as it stands right now on the whatever day of May this is. If you bought something today, you'd have a 1 in 8 chance of winning a bottle of Blanton's. May 31st, we're giving away a bottle of Blanton's.
We are.
So go buy some stuff.
And if you happen to be the one who purchases the most from the store,
you're going to get a bottle.
Not only are you entered to win a bottle of Blanton's, but you're also going to win a bottle of Equal Rare.
And something else special. We're going to have some merchandise made just for you, the winner. So, right. Rock and roll. So now we're on to blue popcorn.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to.
Very similar in color.
Yeah, they're about the same.
About the same.
Maybe a little bit lighter. And this is
a little slightly higher, 97 proof.
Okay.
Not as interesting. It does cling a little bit, but not as clingy as the Bloody Butcher. Mm-hmm. So I did do a quick Google search of blue popcorn. Apparently, it has a higher level of antioxidants in it.
Oh, so it's healthy.
I don't know how that's going to translate.
This will keep you from getting cancer. No.
Don't.
It won't. Don't.
Yeah, we'll edit that out.
We are not doctors.
Oh my.
See, I'm getting this. To me, the nose on this is much more muted. I'm not picking up a lot of.
I just get straight caramel, I love that. I get no ethanol.
No ethanol.
You're right. It is not very.
It's still got a little bit of that earthiness, but nothing.
Not as much.
Close.
It's a very you hit it just perfect. It's soft. It's not as kind of overpowering as the Bloody Butcher, but it's very
still
sweet
no
and
ethanol at all.
None. I'm excited for this one now. Cheers.
I feel like the nose, the palate's just like the nose.
Yeah.
It's all caramel.
Yep.
A little bit, I feel like there's a little bit more of the raw corn flavor, the sweet corn flavor than the first one.
Yeah, this one is, I don't get much spiciness to it. Mm-hmm. I don't, which makes sense. There's no rye in the mash bill. There's a little bit of tingle on the finish. I got to be honest, I think I like the Bloody Butcher a little better than this one. I love the nose. I love the caramel in the nose. This is not bad, but I really like the complexity and kind of the palate challenging aspect of that Bloody Butcher, because there was a lot going on there.
I would agree. That definitely has more depth of flavor, the Bloody Butcher does, than this. This is not
pretty
bad. Straightforward.
Yeah, straightforward.
Not bad. It's not unpleasant.
Little sweetness up front. Now that oakiness is... They're the same in that the oaky hits you in the mid palate and just kind of rides.
I would agree. I feel like the oakiness, the oak on this one is a little bit more of a bitter oak.
I would agree.
Of not that nice chocolate note that you get.
I would agree. It is a little drier, maybe, which is interesting. I think that's because if you would have showed me both mash bills, I'd be like, I'd probably go for the blue popcorn a little more, but it's interesting to see how just changing the type of corn has an effect, because other than that, they're the same mash bill.
The mash bill, wasn't there a little bit more corn in the mash bill?
Nope,
I thought the first one was 75.
75, 15, 10 on both, and the only thing that's different is blue popcorn versus Bloody Butcher.
Yeah,
so
not bad. I'm with you. I prefer the Bloody Butcher.
Yeah, for sure. So The last one we have is a special one. This is their 7-year age-stated wheat whiskey, 107 proof. It is oldest age-stated product that they have. It is 75% corn, doesn't say what kind, 15% soft red winter wheat, and 10% malted barley. So it is the same mash bill as the others. It just doesn't specify what kind of corn it is.
Okay.
So go figure.
So probably just plain old regular corn.
Probably plain old, just normal corn. But it is 7 years old, which I don't care who you are.
Nice.
That's starting to get up there in age a little bit.
And the proof, tell me.
107.
Once
on the
again,
proof,
I'm
so this would
paying
be our
very
highest
close
proof.
attention to you while you talk.
Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous color on
That
that.
is
Has
nice.
a nice, beautiful kind of copper and
like
reddish hue.
Maybe a shade darker than the.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And it's clinging to the glass. I
Yeah.
like the way it moves around in the glass.
Yeah, I do too. So higher in proof for sure. Smells a sucker. You know, it's very familiar because it kind of smells like a combination of both of them. So it's a little bit more.
It's pretty muted too. I
muted.
still feel like the Bloody Butcher has the best nose.
Well, I feel like this is just a more muted version of the Bloody Butcher. It's that same, kind of corn forward.
It's a nice nose. It almost has like a little wine note on it.
I do get a little bit of tingle in my nostril, which is not super. It's not a ton of ethanol, but I do get a little bit of pepper. I'm excited for this
any
one.
ethanol.
Cheers, Whiskey Acres.
What was the mash bill again?
75% corn, 15% soft red winter wheat, and 10% malted barley.
Okay. That's interesting because I could almost swear that there would be a little rye in this because it's got a little rye spice to it.
It absolutely has
Well, a little spice.
a
Obviously,
little spice.
it's not rye spice.
As soon as it hits your mouth, you get a little bit of splash of sweetness, and then it tickles the end of your tongue. And it's oaky. It's got a great oaky flavor to it. Not overly complex. Little bit of sweetness, little bit of spice, and it's a heavyweight pour. It really kind of coats your tongue, and it represents, right? Like it's got some good oaky flavor.
To me, it's got more of a finish, a caramel finish.
Yeah, little sweeter finish. It is interesting that they are all. You can tell that they're all in the same family. They're all similar,
absolutely,
but they're all unique. And that's always fun because if you grab a bottle of them, you can I want something a little more sweet or a little less sweet.
So maybe we need to see which one we prefer more, this one or the first one, the Bloody Butcher.
Go back to your nose on the Bloody Butcher.
That's all chocolate.
I get
Me.
I get some sweet chocolate and I get a lot more of the corn, and it almost smells to me like corn dust now.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever ground corn, like cornmeal.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like cornmeal or even a cornbread
Or even
dough.
oats. There's a little
Yeah,
oat
a
in
little
there.
a grain, very grain forward.
There's something about that Bloody Butcher that I really like.
It does hook you, doesn't
It's
it?
got almost I don't know. There's a little bit of almost a lighter floral note to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're both pretty good.
Okay. Rank them. 1, 2, 3.
Let me
Oh, we're going back.
let me hit
We're
the
going-
last one.
we're
Let me
going
hit
back.
the wheat. Man, it's tough.
It is tough because I went back to the blue popcorn. I'm like, that blue popcorn's not
Oh, you
bad.
did?
Yeah.
See? All right.
The nose on it is, I love that nose, that caramel nose.
The blue popcorn for me is 3.
Okay.
It's a real toss-up between the first 2. I'm gonna go. Man, it's tough. I'm gonna have to just go with it. I feel like there's more complexity in the Bloody Butcher. What is this? What do they call it? It's just a straight bourbon, right?
7-year bourbon whiskey, weeded bourbon whiskey.
And this is just more your straight up classic bourbon profile. Both good. I'm going to rank the Bloody Butcher number 1, the straight bourbon number 2, the blue corn number 3. I could go either way on both of these. I love the 7-year age statement. That would kind of throw it over the edge, but there's something about the Bloody Butcher that I like.
Yep. I like the Bloody Butcher. It's unique, it's interesting, but I think the 7 year is pretty good. I like that. I think that's a good bottle of bourbon. So I would go the 7-year, the Bloody Butcher, and the popcorn. The popcorn is much closer after going back to it. So they're bunched up. They're pretty good. I am going to do one thing.
Okay.
Because these are all pretty unique.
You mix them all together.
Yeah. Let's
very
just
unscientific with the ratios.
I would say I'm about 50% 7-year. I'm 25 and 25 would be my blend. So, and I just want to see what happens. It's not bull crap. It's very scientific.
The nose is very pleasant.
It is very pleasant. It is very pleasant.
I'm getting
because now I
get
the corn, but I still get some of the little spice from the 7-year or the pepperiness.
Well, and our ratios are completely different, but that's pretty good pour, mixing them all together.
Well, that Bloody Butcher really shines through. Mm-hmm. Like that Bloody Butcher corn is an intense flavor. What have we learned? We've learned that Whiskey Acres is in Dekalb, Illinois, just west of Chicago, that they make some pretty good stuff. MSRP on these bottles range from $59.99 to $79.99, and they are all pretty good.
I've learned that there's a distillery out there that I've never heard of before, and they make some pretty damn good whiskey.
Yeah.
And when you think of Dekalb, Illinois, I think of driving through Illinois, and it's just farmland everywhere, and that's what this tastes like.
Yep. I like this. If you're a bourbon fan, if you're so into bourbon, you will like this. Check it out. It's definitely worth, especially if you like that grain forward and that kind of in your face. It's very good. Glenn, tell the people what they should do.
You know what you should do?
What?
You should check us out on our socials, So Into Bourbon on Instagram, Whiskey Realtor on TikTok, So Into Bourbon on Facebook.
Make sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube so you get more hard-hitting content like this.
And as always, keep those wallets loose.
And your bungholes tight. Good night, everybody.
Peace out. I almost forgot. When you said tell them what to do, I was like, what are they supposed to do?
Tell. Hit the button.
It hasn't been that long.
The fight card?
Yep.
I'd fight you for a card.
Well,
come to think of it, I would just fight you.
You like to lose.
I've never thrown a punch. Choked a bunch of people. Never been in a fight. Never punched anybody. I'd like to punch.
I swung my trumpet case at the kids.
Yes, Queen. All right.
I did get punched in the nose though, and I quickly found out what it's like when you get punched in the nose in a fight and your eyes start watering.
Do we want to go ahead and have one?
Are we ready?
Do you know what we're doing?
Nope.
Whiskey Acres.
Before us tonight are some sample bottles. Why don't you tell them where they came from? Nope. Nope. Start again. 3, 2, 1, action.